In the ancient plains of Shinar, a tower rose, its stones stacked with the audacity of human dreams. The Tower of Babel is no mere fable etched in sacred text. It stands as a monument to mankind's relentless reach for the divine, a testament to unity both forged and fractured. This tale, born at the dawn of civilization, marks a turning point in humanity's spiritual arc, a moment where ambition met divine rebuke and one voice splintered into a chorus of tongues. At its heart, language, pride, and fragmentation. A people bound by one speech dared to build a spire to the heavens, not for worship, however, but for their own glory. Their bold endeavor summoned not wrath, but a pause, a scattering, and a redirection of will. And in the echo, ancient yet enduring, we glimpse the forces that still shape our world, the hunger to transcend, the power of shared purpose, and the fragile threads of the meaning that bind or unravel us. In the fertile crescent of Shinar, where rivers stitch life into the soil, humanity gathered, hearts bound by a singular tongue. The book of Genesis speaks of a people, descendants of Noah, who settled in the cradle of clay and ambition. United by language, they dreamed not of fields or flocks, but of a monument to rival the stars. Come, let us build a city, they declared, and a tower with its tops in the heavens to make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered across the face of the earth. Brick by brick, fired in kilns and sealed with bitumen, the tower rose. Each stone was a vow, each tear a heartbeat of the collective will. Shoulder to shoulder, men and women poured their labor into a spire that defied the sky, a monument of unity, of legacy, and of human ascent. Their single voice was their strength, chanting immortality into stone. But the heavens watched. God descended, not in fury, but in quiet judgment, to behold this rising flame of pride. With a single wordless decree, the seamless thread of speech unraveled. Language fractured, words once fluid as water turned to discord. Sounds no longer shared, gestures no longer understood. The work faltered, and the tower stood unfinished, a dream undone not by sword or storm, but by the silence between languages. With tongues shattered, understanding crumbled, neighbors turned from one another, their words no longer bridges but barriers. The city, once alive with common cause, fell silent, its taverns dimmed, its streets emptied, not by exile, but by necessity. The people scattered, drawn outward by the gravity of incomprehension. From these rifts, civilization rose, each bearing its own tongue, its own memory of Babel's silence. Sumerian cuneiform, Egyptian glyphs, the songs of distant tribes, all born from this fracture, each a lone flame in the widening dusk. Communication, once communion, became estrangement. Clarity gave way to confusion, trust to mistrust. A merchant's plea in one valley became nonsense in another. A poet's verse, once universal, grew captive to a single tribe. This scattering was no mere dispersal. It was the sundering of the human soul. From the unity of Shinar sprang a world divided, vibrant, diverse, and forever estranged. The Tower of Babel rises beyond stone and mortar. It is the mirror of a soul's restless reach. Each brick, laid with fervent hands, bears the imprint of a yearning not to worship, but to ascend. It is humanity's hymn to itself, a structure not of praise but of self-exaltation. Born of one voice and one will, the tower marked the height of collective ambition. Its ascent was not mere construction, but conviction, a shared dream rising toward eternity. Each layer echoed a single intent, to defy the finite and to carve a name that would echo among the stars. But its flaw was not structural. It lay in the heart, in the belief that effort alone could breach the sacred veil. The divine reply was not destruction, but dissonance. God did not strike the tower down. He simply unspooled the language that built it, for the divine cannot be seized by height or might. It is found not in objects made by men, but in humility, in the still spaces where longing yields to reverence, and when the soul listens rather than proclaims. From the dust of Shinar, Babel's echo resounds across the ages. Civilizations rise, each cradled by its own tongue, their truths etched in clay, papyrus, and stone. Sumer's hymns, Greece's odes, China's scrolls, each flicker with that scattered voice, vibrant but alone. As languages multiplied, so did division. Empires clashed not only in arms, but in words that could not meet, their borders drawn in sound as much as in soil. Miscommunication became a shadow trailing progress. Rome's Latin stretched across continents only to fragment its fall, splintering into Romance tongues adrift on separate winds. In medieval halls, scholars reached for a universal speech to bind the sundered soul of Christendom. Yet even this dream cracked, as nations wove identity from the rhythms of their own native breath. Babel's legacy was a tapestry of voices, each thread rich, each seam a scar. In every age, the dream of one tongue flickered anew. Renaissance humanists revived ancient texts, seeking a wisdom that spoke to all. Centuries later, binary code coursed through circuits, a digital language treading minds across oceans. Today, a new tower rises, not of brick, but of data. Its cables and clouds stretch skyward, linking thought to thought in a blink of an eye. Yet, this virtual spire bears Babel's flaw. Every connection invites a glitch of meaning. Every shared byte conceals a fracture of intent. Algorithms translate, but cannot mend the soul's divide. Screens connect, yet veil the silences between us. The digital age, for all its promise of a global voice, stands poised on the same precipice as Shinar stones, its ambition boundless and its unity brittle. Still, the quest for oneness endures, a flame no flood of language can extinguish. In the end, though the Tower of Shinar crumbled into silence, its dream, towering and unyielding, never faded. Each scattered tongue carries a fragment of that ancient unity, not as a curse, but as a hidden inheritance, a spark of the collective fire that once lit the plains. What was taken was not destroyed, but refracted like light through a prism, casting a spectrum of voices across the earth's vast canvas. In every word spoken, every story sung, a piece of Babel endures, whispering of a time when humanity spoke as one. The tower's lesson lingers, steady as a star, in the heart of translation, in the fragile bridges built between the divides of language. We reclaim shards of that lost accord. Each act of understanding, each moment of connection, whether carved in clay or coded in light, rebinds what was scattered. The dream of Babel is not gone. It lives in the courage to reach across the chasm, to weave meaning from the multitude of tongues. And if we listen closely and humbly through the noise and the silence, we may yet hear the echo of one voice, patient, persistent, and waiting to be whole again. Thank you for watching.